Hi everyone, and welcome to lecture 5, where we're going to talk about a body system called the excretory system. Now the main function of the excretory system is that it eliminates non-solid wastes from our body. You can see from the figure over to the right that it includes a number of body parts that we've talked about, including the lungs, but it also includes things like the skin. Let me get my laser pointer. So the lungs here, it also includes the skin, and it also includes the urinary tract, so the kidneys, the ureters, and the bladder and urethra. First, let's begin with the lungs. As we covered last week, the lungs' primary job is to take in oxygen when we breathe. The reason that it's a vital part of the excretory system, however, is that it's the primary way that we get rid of a waste called carbon dioxide. So if we remember back to our cellular respiration equation, we know that oxygen and glucose combine, and a byproduct of that, a waste product to get rid of, is carbon dioxide. And so when we exhale primarily carbon dioxide and get rid of it using the lungs. Importantly, lungs also excrete small amounts of heat and water. Next is the skin. So skin is responsible for excreting a number of the body's wastes. This includes getting rid of excess body heat. So this is unusable energy, so energy that our bodies aren't able to process and use. It gets rid of through the skin. It also gets rid of wastes in the form of sweat. So sweat glands in the skin remove a combination of water, salts, and a small amount of a compound called urea, which is a product of breaking down proteins in your digestive tract. This skin excretion that is more commonly referred to as sweat is known as perspiration. And finally, the kidneys and urinary tract. The kidneys work to primarily filter our blood. They are two fist-sized organs. They're generally shaped like a bean that we can see over to the right. You can see our bean-shaped organ here. Healthy kidneys filter about half a cup of blood every minute. They remove wastes and extra water to make urine that eventually leaves our bodies through the bladder. There are two main layers to our kidneys. That of the renal cortex, you see kind of the outer layer here, and the renal medulla, the inner layer here. Oops. All right. So importantly, the inner layer, the medulla here, contains the majority of the main filtering units of the kidney that are referred to as the nephrons. These are the main functional unit of the kidney and the part that actually filters the blood for us. The blood is received from the renal artery that you see here, and it exits through the renal vein, shown there in blue. Each kidney is also attached to what's called a ureter, so this small tube here, a tube that carries excreted urine down to the bladder for excretion out of the body. As we already stated, the principal function of the kidneys is to filter blood in order to remove cellular waste products from the body and other non-liquid wastes. The kidneys excrete a type of waste that's referred to as urine. Urine is a mixture of water, salts, and urea. At any given time, a whopping 20% of our blood is in the kidneys. So that's a very busy organ, and it pumps a lot of our blood through it. Now, you may have known someone that has had a kidney removed for whatever reason, or donated a kidney to someone in need. Importantly, humans can function with only one working kidney. In fact, if one stops working, the other increases in size to handle the increased workload. So as we talked about a few slides ago, the ureters are the tubes that carry urine from the kidneys to the urinary bladder. And you can follow down here in our little figure. So our kidneys, 2 ureters attached, flowing down to the urinary bladder. The urinary bladder temporarily stores urine until it is released from the body. The urethra is the tube that carries urine from the urinary bladder to the outside of the body. And finally, the outer end of the urethra is controlled by a circular muscle that's known as a sphincter. And with that, thank you for watching this very short video on the excretory system. I do want to remind you that this lecture material will be on the midterm on Wednesday, so make sure and study this lecture and the other 4 lectures that we've done so far in the semester. Just to remind you, those are the introductory lecture, the DNA lecture, the circulatory system lecture, and the respiratory system lecture. Just a reminder from last Wednesday, I uploaded the Kahoot and all flashcard games up to Canvas, so you can take a look at those for all of the lectures that we've covered. Importantly, there will be diagrams to label as well as some multiple choice and matching that you guys are very familiar with in testing. So be able to label the diagrams that we've seen on quizzes thus far. And above all, good luck. You guys will do great. And I'll see you guys Wednesday.